was engaged to Ben, you know, and living in LA, and I felt like, yes, I want to make movies and marry Ben. Jesus, I was only like 19 or 20, but I've never felt older in my whole life. And to be honest, if I was honest with myself, there was a small part of me that felt dead or deadish, but you know, you tell yourself no one is perfect. No relationship is perfect. Anyway, you were asking about Charlie. So yes, I was engaged to Ben, and I was happy, but I was aware of the deadness. So I went to New York to meet with the director for this new space movie, the one where they actually take space seriously. Sex trafficking in space. It was political, or at least they wanted us to think that it was. And the producer invited me to this play, and it was in someone's living room with all of the lights on and like nothing I'd ever really seen before. So well acted, and one of the actors was this big shaggy bear who played all of his lines looking directly at me, which I knew couldn't really be the case, but it felt like it. And then later I learned that it was. Afterwards I was introduced to the cast, and it turns out that this director was also the one playing this big shaggy bear. He talked to me, and boy did I talk back. The dead part wasn't dead. It was just in a coma. And it was better than the sex, the talking. Although the sex is like the talking. Everything is like everything in a relationship. Do you find that? So I spent the whole night and the next day together, and I just never left. And to be honest, the problems were there in the beginning too. I just went along with him in his life because it felt so damn good to feel myself alive. In the beginning, I was the actress, the star. So that meant something. People came to see me at first. But then the further away I got from that, and the more the theatre company got acclaim, I had less and less weight. I became you know, that actress who was in that thing at one time, and he was the draw. And that would have been fine, but I got smaller. I realized that I didn't ever really come alive for myself. I was just feeding his aliveness. He was so smart and so creative that it didn't matter. I would tell him things at home and in private, and they would work their way into public conversation, into his work, and for a while that was enough. I was just so flattered that someone like him would find an idea of mine worth using, or a comment of mine worth repeating. And then I got pregnant. And I thought to myself, having this baby will be ours, really ours, but it will also really be mine. And he was so excited, and you know, things were good for a while, but kids, they belong to themselves. Like, the instant they leave your body, it's just this process of them going away from you. And I didn't belong to myself. It was stupid stuff, and big stuff. For instance, all of the furniture in our apartment was his taste. I wasn't even sure what my taste was anymore because I'd never been asked to use it. I didn't even pick our apartment. I just moved into his. I made noise about leaving the city, but every time it always go to nothing. We'd come back here because he liked my family, and every single time I suggest we do a year or something, he put me off. It would have been so weird if you had turned to me and said, "What do you want to do today?" Oh, I watched that long documentary about George Harrison, and I thought, own it, just own it like George Harrison's wife. You know, being a wife and a mother, that's enough. And then I realized that I couldn't even remember her name. So the pilot came along, and it was shot in LA, and it paid so much, and it was like, here is this little lifeline thrown to me. You know, here is a little bit of earth that is yours, and I was embarrassed about it in front of him. You know, and if he had just turned to me and said, "Baby, I am so excited for your adventure, and of course I want you to have your own little piece of earth," then maybe we wouldn't be getting divorced. But he made fun of it. And he was jealous, like he is. But then he realized about the money and told me I could use it to funnel it back into the theater company. And that was it. That was when I realized he truly didn't see me. He didn't see me as something separate from him. So I asked him to say my phone number, and he didn't know it. So I left. Also, I think he slept with the stage manager, Marianne.